Assalamu alaikum students. Today is the 27th November 2024 and today is the Monday. It's your science class. SLO of the today's lesson is at the end of the lesson students will be able to describe the structure and the function of the human heart. This is the flowchart of showing the blood flow in the human heart. You have to learn it and write it in your notebooks as diagram.
Four chambers of human heart.
This is the diagram of the human heart showing the blood flow in the heart. There are four chambers of the human heart. Upper two chambers are called the atria and the lower two chambers are called the ventricle. Our heart is made up of muscles that pumps the blood throughout our body. How it pumps the blood throughout the body? You have to understand it by focusing on the white arrows. First of all, blood enters into the human heart through the vena cava. From the vena cava it goes into the right atrium and right atrium pumps the blood into the right ventricle. After right ventricle, blood goes into the lungs that purify the blood, that takes out the carbon dioxide and takes in the oxygen. This blood that contains the oxygen is known as oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood enters the heart twice through the pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein pumps the blood into the left atrium. From the left atrium, blood goes into the left ventricle. Left ventricle pumps the blood into the aorta, into the body tissues through the aorta. This oxygenated blood, when enters into the body, gives oxygen to the body cells for respiration and take up the carbon dioxide. So the blood becomes the deoxygenated blood that have more carbon dioxide and enters the human heart through the vena cava, and this cycle begins again. The blue portion of the human heart showing that it has less oxygen and more carbon dioxide means the blood is deoxygenated blood, and the red portion of the human heart showing that it has more oxygen and less carbon dioxide. So this blood is the oxygenated blood. The walls are present between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and left atrium and the left ventricle that control the flow of blood to move in the opposite direction. For example, when the blood is moving from the right atrium to the right ventricle, this valve will control, tricuspid valve will control the flow of blood to go into the right atrium again. It's time to discuss the questions of human heart. Question 1 is, what is heart made up of? The heart is made up of a muscle. Question number 2 is, what are the upper and the lower chambers of the heart called? As you know, the upper chambers of the heart called the atria and the lower chambers are called the ventricles. Question number 3 is, which ventricle has the thickest wall? You know that the left ventricle has the thickest wall because it has to pump the blood throughout the body. So these three questions must be learned orally. This is all about your today's lesson. If you find any query, you can ask me. Thank you, students.